morning, church family. Look forward today as we continue on our study in the conclusion of Luke chapter 19. Two more verses for you. Here we go. Starting in verse 47. Every day he was teaching at the temple, but the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the leaders among the people were trying to kill him. Yet they could not find any way to do it, because all the people hung on his words. This short passage, these two verses, give me pause for a moment. You could almost imagine the scene, right? Jesus comes into Jerusalem. There's been a great following behind him. People have been laying down palm branches and coats. He's riding in on a colt that's never been written. And maybe there were some who said, oh my goodness, he's fulfilling the prophecies of the Messiah, but he can't possibly be the Messiah. That's what's going on in their hearts. And so as Jesus began to teach in the synagogues and in the temple courts, and people began to gather around, and people were hanging on their every word, they became more and more infuriated. This guy's challenging the system that we know. He's being false in his posture and his positioning, and they became more and more angered, and they desired to kill him. And so they were plotting against it, but all the while trying to save face amongst the other people, and they felt like they couldn't move because of this. And as I read it, I'm reminded, no, the reason why they couldn't move was because God was in control. I think that's the thing in most of our lives that we have to battle with, we have to reckon within ourselves. Who is in control of our days? For many of us, we believe that we're in control of our days, and God blesses what we do, or he curses what we do. And our job and desire is oftentimes to try and figure out, how do we navigate life in such a way, and how do we present our life in such a way that God will bless what we do instead of cursing what we do. And what we forget is the fact that God has ordained our days, that he is the one in control, and we cannot move outside of what God has already called us into. And most often, the thing that we are responsible for being in charge of is not which way do we go, but the posture by which we take in accordance with God as we go. Are you and I seeking to rule and reign over our own lives? Are we allowing God to do that? And are we just making sure that we are faithful to God as he leads? There's probably a lot of us that feel like there are things in our life that we can't do because of this, that, or the other thing. And maybe the reality is the reason why we can't do those things, or the reason why those things are such a struggle, is because God does not desire us to go that direction, because God is keeping those things from us. And so maybe today it's about taking a different posture and position before the Lord, allowing him to lead, allowing him to rule and reign, and for us to adjust our posture and allow us to become followers instead of the leaders. How's it going in your life? Is there anything we can pray about in that regard? How can we help you take a posture of second to the one who has always been first? We'd love to pray with you in that. Look forward to continuing on our study in the book of Luke tomorrow as we begin Luke chapter 20.